Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's live stream. I'm Stu, and this is Patrol Base TV. Today, we are going to take a deep dive into G&G, so let's have a look at what they've got to offer. So welcome back. So today we're going to take a very deep look into a various amount of G&G products. They've been around for a long time now, and they have become a staple of most sites. If you go to an airsoft site nowadays, you are going to see a G&G, whether or not it be the rental. They've proved themselves absolutely bulletproof by being the rental platform for most sites with the CM16. It's a great place to start if you're a new player, and that's where we are going to start, and we're going to have a look at the R8L. So here it is, the R8L. So we're going to start off with something a little bit different to say the ARP9 or something like that. There's a lot of G&Gs that are incredibly good for new players, and this is just something that's a little bit out there that hasn't really been picked up on, purely because it comes with this on top of it. So it comes with the dot sight, which is a little bit of a rarity in a lot of platforms, but it's really good, it's really robust. It's coming at 326 FPS out the box, which is absolutely perfect for CQB, outdoors, everything like that. Not only that, it's got a 357mm inner barrel, so it is going to be accurate out to a decent range. So I'll start from the front and work my way back, as always. If at any point there's something you want to cover a little bit more, and that goes on with anything else that we covered today, just throw a question up, and we're more than happy to flash it up on screen and make sure all the information gets out there. So, as always with most AEGs, 40mm counterclockwise thread. So all the guys starting out, going to CQB sites, and you see all the green traces flying around and all the red traces flying around, you go, that's really cool, I want to do it. This is how you get it on your platform. The 40mm counterclockwise thread, you take your flash hider off, put a tracer unit on there, put tracer BBs in your mag, and when they fire out the barrel, it ignites them with a flash, so they glow in the dark, and that's how the tracer system works. Coming back to a metal outer barrel and a plastic quad rail, so you've got 20mm riz left, right, bottom and top. This is purely just to keep the weight down and keep the cost down, because obviously the receiver is plastic as well, but it is an extremely robust polymer. It's not going to dink or damage or anything. It is a really good stable platform, giving you plenty of space for backup iron sights if you want any. Obviously it comes with the dot sight, but if you want to throw some backup iron sights on here, that's totally possible as well. Pec box, grip, bipod, absolutely anything you want, you can throw this together and it will work. So you do also have, what is quite useful as well, is they have the T markings on here. So you might not be able to see them on camera, but all the way back here you have T markings from T19 all the way to T41, and what that means is that's the position on the rail, that's the number rail all the way to the front. So if you have different setups for CQB and outdoor, when you say put a pec box on this, but you don't want to run that outdoor because you don't need a laser or anything, you can take it off, but you know that your pec box sits on T29, you can put it exactly back where it was. Means it's going to hold a bit of a zero. By taking it off, you don't have to re-zero it every time you put it on. You should, but it's not essential. You can just change it around. And that goes for grips, torches, everything like that. You can have multiple setups, and rather having to remember or mark it, it's all there for you. Coming to the sight itself, it is just a dot sight, but it does have multiple brightness levels. So it's got green and red, and possibly... No, just green and red, so there's no blue on this one. Some of them have been known to have blue dots as well, but this is just green and red, and it has different sort of brightnesses. Really good for if you're going outdoors, you want a nice bright dot, so it can be seen in sunlight and everything like that. When you go indoors, you want to turn it right down, so you're not sort of blocking your own vision with a big bright dot sight. The receiver itself, plastic, just keeping the weight down, making it nice and easy to wield in and outdoors. It is right-handed bias, so the fire selector's on the left, mag release on the right-hand side, and the mock bolt hold open is on the left. It does come with a 300 round polymer, G&G polymer magazine. Again, straight from the top, pour your BBs in, and then you've got a wheel at the bottom to prime it. Again, with this being a new player gun, what we have seen, and well, whilst we're at sites and stuff like that, we try and help people, is when you're winding the magazine, make sure the mag is vertical like this. A lot of people may go like this, oh, I need to do it, and start winding it like that. What that's going to do is it's going to prevent the BBs from being able to go up the tube and prime it properly. So when you are trying to prime your high cap, make sure your magazine is pointing downwards, and you'll get plenty of BBs out of it every time you wind it. Coming back to a standard plastic pistol grip where your motor sits, and your multi-positional stock with sling plates at the back. So you've got a single sling plate on the left-hand side here. So you are limited to a single point sling with this, unless you wanted to put something in the stock back here in the loop points. Battery compartment, again, found in the back. There is a pinch point at the back just here. So you pinch them two bits together, the back of the stock comes off, and you can fit a battery in the stock tube. But that's the G&G R8L. As we're covering anything today, if for whatever reason you've got a question on this, please throw it up and we'll come back to it. Dominic Hills, is the new UMP45 thing out yet? If you wait till the end of the video, you might get to see it, and I think you mean the PCC 45. So we might be covering that shortly, so hang around and you can ask some questions about it. But if that's everything on the RL8, we're going to move on to another absolute favourite of a lot of people, and that's the ARP9. So welcome back. So I now have the ARP9 in front of me, and I also have one behind me. So that's the pre-two-toned one, and then this is the red accented one. So again, this one could be two-toned if you wanted it, but if you don't want to wait, or you're just quite happy with blue plastic, the blue one is available as well. You could just get that next day if you wanted it, and you don't have to wait for it to be painted. So the ARP9, why is it popular? Why do people like it? I mean, there's a load of reasons. I mean, look at the size of it. This thing is just so compact and so awesome. It's just become an absolute fan favourite of a lot of people. And that goes to normal skirmishers, speed softers, absolutely everyone love this thing. It comes down to the size of it. It's the way that you can move around with it. The size of the mags make it quite easy to put in a rig. The short barrel and everything like that, it's not really bad on accuracy or range and everything. And I mean, even some people drop HPA engines in this and absolutely love it. So off the bat, this thing is about 305 FPS out the box. It does have a smaller inner barrel than the R8L. So this thing has an inner barrel of 128 millimeters. But it doesn't diminish its range or anything like that. It is really, really good. Out the box, it also comes with a 300 round high cap. So again, if you're starting out and you're not wanting to buy loads and loads of mags, high caps are great. You can just put 300 rounds in there, stick it in, wind it, and run all day. You don't need to carry 5 or 6 mags in your rig. High caps have a great place for that, and just being able to run with the one, maybe get one extra, and you could run all day. So looking at the front, there is a much bigger flash hider or muzzle brake than what you'd expect on other AEGs, but it is just what they've decided to design the ARP9 with. It is still a 40mm counterclockwise thread under there. So you could take that off, put your Spitfire on there. I know a lot of people put the Spitfire tracer on here. Running it indoors, you get that orange flash and you get the tracer around. People have loads of fun with this. This one that comes with it is like a sound hog, so it does make it a little bit louder than a standard AEG, but if you put the suppressor on it, it's going to be just like any other. And then you've got the red accents going down into the barrel. They do have like green, blue, gold, different ones. So any pit on here that's red, you will have other ones that have green, blue. The gold one was limited edition, and I think there's a few different other colours, but all the bits on here that have been anodised, it's not painted, it is like an anodised colour. It is a really, really nice deep red, so it just adds a bit of coolness to it. So the rail on this one is metal. It is CNC'd and on there absolutely solid. And you do get 2 bits of M-lock on the right hand side, 2 on the left and 2 on the bottom. This allows you to stick any torches you want on there. You could stick a grip on there, little shotgun Zoxner launcher if you wanted to be mean in CQB, but you could do anything like that. A lot of people, the WML torches that we featured recently, a lot of people like to put them on the front of this because it sits exactly where your thumb would, where the front iron sight is. So the front iron sights on these are just detented, so you can just click them up and down, but a lot of people replace them and put the WML click torch on there. Very, very comfy and very, very neat. But you do have loads of space on the top for optics if you want a dot sight, magnifier, scope if you wanted. I've seen people run scopes on these and they have the range to sort of keep up with that 3 to 4 times just to make it a little bit easier to see what you're shooting at. Controls on this, again, right-handed dominant with it being sort of the entry-level style. So your fire selector's on the left, the mock bolt hold open is on the left, but your mag release is sort of more ambidextrous with it being down at the bottom here. So pressing that and it comes out a little bit like the SMG5 or the PCC for those that saw it, and it clicks in nice and easy. There are multiple different magazines for this as well. You can get the high caps, you can get the mid caps that look like this. So I think it's 105 mid cap for the other one, and you can get one that's got the fake rounds in it as well if you want something a bit different. Very cool little flat blade sort of speed trigger that when you pull this, you can feel it nicely bounce off the micro switch that's in there. So you're not working with like copper contacts, you're working with an ETU in this, and it is very, very intuitive. Coming back, you do have a butterfly style charging handle, which opens it up and allows you to get to your hop in there to make sure your BBs are flying straight and true. And then coming back to the stock, which is collapsible, you press the button and just slide it out. You do have loads of battery space in these. It's almost the same size as a normal size stock tube, but there are extenders available. If you're worried that you haven't got enough battery space in here, you can get an extender, just replaces the little plate at the back here and you get a bit more room. If you're not worried about collapsing this down or making it shorter or anything, just run the extender and you've got loads of room. But, I mean, it's even got red accent on the motor base plate. Look at that. I didn't even notice that before. They've thought of everything with this. It's really, really cool. Again, we've got a message on YouTube. My mate is looking at a CM16 2.0. Is there anything he should know before the purchase? Not really. They're absolutely awesome. I mean, the CM16 is an absolute bulletproof system. The CM16 has been proven with it being the sort of rental of most sites. So, and again, when you're getting into this sport, it wants to be something that you like the look of. So if he likes the look of it, he's onto a winner, and with it being G&G, it's going to last him a long time and be very robust for him to beat around a woodland for a long time as well. So if that's everything on the ARP9, again, if there's any questions on this as we carry on, please throw them up, this or the pre-two-tone one or anything else. Throw them up and we'll flash them up. Kieran on YouTube, how does G&G compare to the Spectre Arms range? I'd say G&G are sort of more focused on individual builds, so the ARP9 is the ARP9. There's not different versions of it with different stocks or different rails or anything like that. It's sort of stuck where it is at. They do have ETUs and they do have MOSFETs, but there is probably a sort of similar build in Spectre Arms. It's not a case of one is better than the other. I think Spectre Arms gives you more options with getting the exact platform exactly as you want it, if you want in a full stock or a longer rail or anything like that. And then the Edge 2.0 gives you the MOSFET into like a full gate system. The MOSFET in this is really, really good. It's got the battery protection. It's got the ETU trigger, so the response is really good. But apart from that, I think they're pretty much the same. It all comes down to looks, personally, at the end of the day. If this is the look that you're going for, go for this. If there's one of the Spectre Arms that you like, go for that. But definitely, if you're going to compare a G&G to Spectre Arms, you have to kind of compare it to the Edge range with either the Aster or something like that, so you're getting a similar electronic system inside. But if that's everything on the ARP9, someone asked about it earlier, but we are going to go on to the PCC 45. So someone asked about it, and now we've got it. So we did a little bit of a show of this a couple of days ago, but we're in a G&G brand video, and we couldn't not bring it out a second time. So this is the brand new PCC 45. It's sort of the ARP9's bigger brother, whereas that's based off the 9mm. This is based off the 45 ACP. Kind of a little bit like the UMG 45 had a bit of a facelift. But yeah, I mean, this thing's really cool. Like, really, really, really cool. Off the bat, one thing that we have been asked loads and loads of times is, do the UMG 45 mags fit this? Unfortunately not. The way that the mag well works and the way that it feeds inside, the feed point is in a different spot, and the mags are actually physically a different size as well. So the PCC 45 has proprietary mags, but they are really, really cool. It's got fake rounds in there, so it looks awesome. The big 45 round ones as well. So if you've seen the ARP9 mag with the 9mm in it, this is just the bigger brother of it. It does look extremely cool. So I've thrown a few bits on here just so we can see how it looks. But as always, 40mm counterclockwise front end. So they've not put a flash hider or anything on here. All they've done is they've put a knurled thread protector on there, stopping any chips or dents getting on the threads, because as soon as you get a dent or out in your threads, you're going to start cross-straying and cause some problems. So if you're not running your tracer, you're not running a flash hider or like that, it's very, very good to have a little thread protector and making sure that nothing's going to cause damage to your threads. Coming back, we have a larger M-lock rail. So where the ARP9 had sort of 2 slots of M-lock, here we have 4. So we've got 1, 2 and 4, and then 2 and 4 and 2 and 4, left, right and bottom. On the left-hand side, you won't be able to see it, but there is an M-lock QD sling point. You could quite easily unscrew that and attach it to any point on the rail where you needed it. It's just, when it's out of the box, it's just on the left-hand side at the back. So with the QD point at the front and then the hook loop at the back, you have got options to single or 2-point sling this, making it really versatile to carry it in any way that you wanted. On the top, I've thrown the new D-bal, GMP D-bal on there just to show it off for the 20mm rail that goes all the way from the front to the back. This does normally come with the standard G&G flip-up iron sights that are detented, similar to the back. There's no button or anything to press. You just flip it up when you need it and drop it down when you don't. So really easily to flip them off. If your battery dies or something happens to your optics, you flip your iron sights up and you're good to go. But if you replace it with a laser, you've got the laser and the torch to have as a backup instead. Rolling back to the little butterfly system here, so they are connected, so whichever side you grab, both sides come out, and then you can rack it back and get to your hop unit in there. An absolutely awesome rotary hop in this. It's numbered, it's detented, so as you're rolling this thing round, it drops into little slots, and it is absolutely solid and secure. It's never ever going to move. And then if we come down to this little switch here, and that puts it forward again. So that's on both sides. The fire selector is on both sides, and the mag release is at the bottom here. So this thing is extremely ambidextrous to the point of even the sling points can be swapped. So your sling point can be swapped to any point that you want here, and the one at the back could be swapped to that side. Absolutely no problem. So the only time you're going to have a slight drama is the stock only folds to one side. But controls, again, they've thought about the right-handed shooter with the cutout in the fire selector. So when you're holding this, normally you might catch the fire selector, but they've put the detent in there so that you can comfortably get to your trigger and not knock the fire selector. It's quite a new thing that's being featured on quite a few platforms. The magazine itself, a common G&G thing as well, is at the top you will see there is an extra feed sort of device there. What this is as the last BB comes out, this goes into your hop unit as well, so that when this is in, when you take it out, you'll see that it flops. And the idea of this is to make sure you get every BB out the mag. What you need to be careful with is if you put it in and then take it out, if you try to put this mag back in, you might snap this. So make sure you're not putting the magazine in without the feed system back inside the mag or BBs in it, because you don't want to cause any damage to your mag. The bolt hold open device, the bolt release device is ambidextrous as well. You get that on both sides. And then coming back to the stock, the buttons on the left hand side comes over and hooks onto there. So if you have a small gun or carry case, this thing is extremely compact. So you can get a small case, hold this in there, a small bag, and then once you're ready, magazine in, stock out, and you've got a full ready to go platform. But this thing's exceptionally cool. I can't wait for people to get this thing and start running around fields with it. They're going to have a load of fun. High caps are available for it. So if you are wanting the high caps, if you're just starting out and you want plenty of rounds, I think it's 500 rounds that fit in that. Standard, this is 105 mid cap that come with it. But if that's everything on the PCC 45, if you do have any questions on it, please throw them up all the way to the end of the video, and we'll come back to it if possible. So we're going to drop down to something a little bit smaller now, and then its bigger brother afterwards. But the next thing we're going to look at is the GTP9. So here it is. We've got the GTP9. So this thing's got a really cool feature internally to make it a bit more viable for cold weather and things like that. But externally, I mean, it's quite neat. I mean, look at that. Sort of a grey receiver and a black upper, and they do various different other ones as well, and a nice chrome outer barrel as well. So this thing's very neat and very cool. I mean, even the rails, the upper rails, the upper slide is the word I'm trying to say, is really neat with the serrations at the front and the cut out in the slide. This thing's a bit mean looking, really. It's really nice. So the main difference that you'll get with pistols like this is it doesn't have a 14mm. This has a 12mm. Counterclockwise as you expect, so you can take the little thread adapter off. Again, if you're not using your tracer or anything like that, make sure you keep this on because you don't want to damage these. So you get a little 12mm thread that you can get an adapter for, and then put a tracer unit on if you like, or a flash hider or anything you like will fit onto the front of here. What you need to be careful with pistols is you don't want to put too much weight onto that front end. So if you're running a suppressor, you're running a tracer unit, make sure it's the lightest one that you can get, because as soon as you put too much weight on the front of here, it starts dragging it down. You're going to put more drag on the slide, and you're going to get less rounds out of your magazine gas wise, because it's having to use more gas to throw the slide back. So if you could get the lightest suppressor or the lightest tracer unit possible, you're going to have a better time with your pistol and more rounds out of it. Again, this thing is very ambidextrous with the safety clicking on both sides. So this little button here that you can see there, it's red on this side, so when you've pressed it, that's now in safe. If that side's pushed out, it's now on fire. It does have a trigger safety, so when this is out, you can see the center part of the trigger there. If you don't pull the center part of the trigger, it won't come back, so there's another safety there as well. Mag release can be found at the bottom of the trigger guard, so pressing that down drops the magazine out. A 27 round magazine, I believe, in this, going up to a 50 that you can get, and the slide lock that you'll find there or there is on both sides as well, making it extremely ambidextrous for people wanting a sidearm. If you're left or right handed, this will work both ways. So the cool little trick this has inside it is the nozzle works a little bit like in a spiral design, so as it moves it twists. So what they've worked out is as a gas magazine is venting its gas into here, it can cause ice to build up, frost to build up, and it slows everything down inside, and you're not turning the liquid into a gas fast enough for it to cycle properly. So what they've done with this, with it spinning, it allows it to break up that ice formation and cycle a lot cleaner, a lot faster, and a lot more efficiently. So you will get a very, very consistent 290, 295 FPS out of this all year round, with various different types of gas. It is extremely consistent and extremely cool. The hop system on this is actually a little bit different, but it is also similar to the next thing that we're going to look at, is it has a key. So instead of having to slide it open or anything like that, it is actually the barrel itself is the hop. So it goes into the front there, you adjust it, fire a few rounds, adjust it, fire a few rounds, and then keep the hop key conveniently in the grip. You can get spare ones. It is nice and easy to use, so you've got it there. You don't have to keep it in the pistol grip. If you're worried about losing it, you can leave it in your gear or anything like that. This thing's falling all over the place. But yeah, you can leave the hop key in your gear and just use it whenever you need it. But once the hop's set on this, it is quite stable. And now that's back on. It is quite stable and quite reliable, and you're not really going to need it mid-game. So if you are worried about losing it, just leave it in your gear. You've got standard fixed iron sights on this, but you do have a highlighted front sight. So you've got a highlighted white front sight and a highlighted rear back sight to line up almost like a straight line. Rather than be dots like other things, it's a flat straight line. So when you've got the flat line lined up, that's when you're on target and as accurate as you can be. But this is exceptionally cool. But if this is sort of something that you like and you want to see its big brother, the next thing we're going to have a look at is the SMC9. So, I've kept the GTP9 out, but here's the SMC9. So this is the big brother of the GTP9. It's not a conversion kit. When this thing first came out, everyone thought it was the GTP9 in a conversion kit, and that was how it was going to be. It's not. It is a completely separate build and platform. The lower receiver is the same to that, so you could swap the lower receiver around if you needed to, but apart from that, it is a build on its own. You don't need this to have this. They come in separate boxes, and you could have either if you want. But what's really good about that is if you do have this as a side arm to this, the magazines are compatible, so the big 50 round mag will fit in your pistol, and vice versa, your smaller mag will fit in your SMC9. So it gives you a little bit of versatility and a bit of sort of crossover between your pistols and your primary. So if you go to a CQB site and you want to just run the pistol, you could run both sets of mags, and vice versa. If this goes dry and you've got your sidearm and you've got a bit of a time for an admin reload, you could swap your magazines around and just carry on running this. But this thing is really, really cool. Absolutely love it. Everything about it, aesthetics, the stock, the front end, the M-lock, the way it all functions, the way the racking system works, everything about this I absolutely love. So looking at the front, it comes with a standard flash hider on the front, and again, the hop system on this works exactly the same as the GTP9. Come to the back of your grip, press the little button, and your hop key comes out. What we've had a lot of people asking us about this is when they first get them out of the box, they can't seem to get rounds out of them consistently enough. What we always suggest is apply a very, very small amount of hop. When this has no hop applied, it will not hold a BB in the chamber. It will just simply roll out of the barrel. And because it is a tight bore, it can take a little bit of time for it to roll out because of friction and pressure and everything like that. Just add a very, very small amount of hop to the front, and that allows your hop chamber to become a breech, hold that BB in place, and fire it when you need it. Again, once you've adjusted your hop, you can either put this back into your grip, or you could just put this in your gear. There is a spare one in the box, but if you're worried about losing it, just leave it in your gear, and you're not really going to need it mid-game. You're not going to be adjusting your hop with this in mid-game. It is very consistent and really, really good. The one downside of the way the hop system works in this is if you're running a suppressor or a tracer, obviously you can't adjust it with anything like that on. So take all your bits and all your accessories off, set your hop, fire a few rounds, set your hop. Once you're happy with it, put your suppressor, put your tracer unit back on, and you're good to go. Again, the hop unit is really good in this. It is set, and you're not going to need to adjust this mid-game. It is absolutely awesome. So we have got a full metal front rail with M-lock on the right side, sort of 11 o'clock, bottom sort of down at sort of 9 o'clock as well. You got QD points in the rail. This sort of bar here, if you take these two screws off, you can then swap this onto the other side, and this uncovers a second QD point. So again, this thing is 100% ambidextrous with absolutely everything, all the way down to which port opens when it's firing, which shell door opens, which side you can rack it on. They have thought of everything to be 100% ambidextrous. So the two bars that you'll see at the front here, that is how you rack this. So you've got it on the right-hand side and the left-hand side, and you can see the left-hand door opened. So if this was closed, and it racks again, well, when I've got the bolt forward, you can swap which door opens, meaning if you're right-handed, left-handed, you can have the right-hand door open, you can have the left-hand door open, and just make sure it's exactly how you want this thing to function. The fire selector is in a little bit of a weird spot. So this little button here, you will find that pressing that is how you adjust your fire selector. So currently that is now in semi-auto, that's now in full auto. Very, very easy to function. Apart from that, the fire controls, safety and slide lock are all the same as the GTP9. So if this thing's racked back, you can see a little lever here. Pressing that forward is the slide release. The safety, exactly the same, just above the trigger, and again, works exactly the same. So that's now in safe, that's now in fire, and the magazine release is underneath the trigger guard. Pressing that down releases the magazine. Coming further back, it comes with the flip-up iron sights, more like an AR than a pistol, but you do have a big 20mm rail across the top to put all your dot sights, anything that you need, pec boxes. You could trick this thing out to be an absolute CQB nightmare for your enemy, with lasers, torches, all them really cool bits. If you wanted to put, the WML torch, if you wanted to put the debal trace laser on here, this thing would look absolutely awesome. Just a little T1, maybe a magnifier. You're gonna have some fun indoors. Coming back to the other sling point at the back, you do have a loop style sling point here. This can be swapped over to the other side by swapping the screws around, and then the stock is foldable. So the little button folds around and actually magnetizes to this little bar here. So rather than it being a hook or anything, it is actually a small magnet, making it really, really cool and efficient to whip out if you're playing this as a conceal system. So underneath at the bottom, you've got buttons here, and this is all the system to remove the lower receiver and everything like that for maintenance. And that is the only bit that is the same from this to the GTP9 is the lower receiver. Very easy to get in there, clean it, sort your barrel out, anything that you need to do. It is exceptionally cool. But, I mean, out the box, there was a problem early on with these having a US version and a European version. So be very, very careful which one you are getting your hands on, because the US versions have a different nozzle and a different system inside it, which means they are not playable in most UK sites by being 360 FPS or above. The EU version prefers hot gas. So what we mean by that is your Nuprol red and your Nuprol black, or your Garda black, or your more powerful gas actually lowers the FPS. So testing this on red and black gas, you're getting about 310 FPS, which is absolutely perfect. You don't need better than that on a CQB platform. You start dropping this down to Duster gas, Nuprol 1.0, anything like that, you're going to start creeping into that 340, 345, maybe even 350 mark, with the odd shot going over, and no one wants that. So, and you're going to have a much better time recoil, reset speed and everything like that with the red gas, with the black gas. It's going to cycle faster, you're going to have a better rate of fire, so there's no point going down to that white gas, and having a more sluggish platform and something that could be hot on a couple of shots every now and again. So run the right gas and you're going to be down at 310, and you're going to have a lot of fun with this thing. So as I was saying before, it does come with the 50 round mag. There are apparently plans to make a drum mag, but we've not seen it yet or not heard when that's coming out. But this thing with a drum mag is going to make friends, and it's going to make people have a lot of fun. So if there's any other questions on G&G in general, please throw them up, or any questions at all. We're more than happy to answer anything that you've got going. But this thing is incredible. If you're looking for something unique, something gas operated, and something that's going to be absolutely incredible indoors, CQB and outdoors, I think this is where it's at. Either this or probably the ARP9, but the PCC45 is going to get field tested very, very soon, and I think that is going to be a massive fan favourite very, very soon. But if that's everything on G&G, we will leave it there. It's great talking to everyone. It's great chatting to everyone. Thanks for all your questions. If that is everything, I'm away tomorrow, but we've sorted your video out, so don't worry. We'll have content as normal at 4 o'clock. Unfortunately, I won't be able to answer questions, but join us at 4 o'clock for a premiere on YouTube, and you can watch that. If not, I will be back on Tuesday for another standard review
of a new product, hopefully. But until then, enjoy your weekend. Hope you can get out and play this weekend. I know I am. But until then, I'll see you on Tuesday. Bye.